Good afternoon. My name is Jasmine Bridges, and today we'll be discussing the internal and external communications of Gap Inc. Today we'll be discussing Gap Inc. Gap Inc. is a multi-million-dollar retail chain that consists of the stores Gap, which provides professional clothing or more expensive clothing for the family, Old Navy, which provides more affordable clothing for the family, Banana Republic, which provides professional clothing for men and women, Athleta, which provides high-end athletic wear, and unfortunately, Piperlime has been discontinued with the substitution for Intermix, which provides more high-end clothing such as like designer, which is a lot more expensive. Majority of the documents seen in this report as well as this presentation are from Old Navy. As someone who is currently employed to Old Navy, this is the easiest way for me to obtain internal documents. Old Navy is a store established in 1994 that centers around selling affordable clothing to the entire family. The intended audience for this presentation includes headquarters staff, retail chain management and staff, as well as consumers. Internal documents include memorandums, emails, internal reports, meeting minutes, shareholder reports, as well as other private company documents. External documents include company web pages, press releases, the company's mission and vision statement, recruitment materials, and other public documents related to the company. The purpose of this presentation is to help create a clear line of communication between Gap Inc. headquarters and retail chains in the hopes of creating increased profit generation within its consumers. Problems that I could clearly identify in almost every single one of the documents that it lacked clarity, focus, a lack of professionalism, and also a lack of explanation. After eating each document, I had a lot of questions related to how would you do A, B, C, or D? And I felt like the documents didn't really provide those answers. And I felt as though if I were asking those questions, I feel as though retail staff and management had those questions as well. With my analysis of the internal and external documents of Gap Inc., one of the reoccurring themes that I viewed to be very common in the documents is the lack of professionalism. The documents included bright blue fonts, various color schemes that could be distracting to the reader. Also, the writers of the document should keep in mind that with the distracting fonts and colors, that important points may be missed or overlooked due to the lack of professionalism. If a document needs color, I would recommend 2 to 3 colors at max. Because documents discussing important information dealing with legal troubles, integrity, and other serious topics should only use black and professional font so that individuals may understand how serious the topic is. A colorful subheading is always acceptable, but a colorful body paragraph does not make for a professional document. Clarity, the quality or state of being clear. Many of the documents lacked clarity. After reading a majority of the documents, I had a lot of questions to ask. A lot of the points would contradict one another, making things very unclear to the reader. Things like the marketing, the documents itself unclear. On the website, currently they have a up to 60% off sale. So in the up to 60% off marketing, the words up to are an extremely small font and the words 60% off are in very large font, which will create a lack of transparency with its customers. Customers do come in all the time saying is the entire store 60% off, and we always are confused as to why they view it that way. But when you look at the marketing, it's very clear why they would have that idea due to the lack of clarity. So tips I would include to create better clarity and transparencies: make clearer statements. Use active voice and ensure that majority of the information displayed is information that your audience can clearly comprehend. Focus. To cause to be concentrated. Many of the documents did not provide an in-depth information explanation of its topics. It would lightly touch on topics and travel to a next topic and leave any ideas and questions up for interpretation of the reader. Some tips I thought that could better help the company focus on the points it's trying to make is attempt to include about as much information as possible without overwhelming your reader. Proofread your documents. Also, look at information carefully and possibly create another subheading if you feel as though the concept is another important speaking point that the reader should know about. When I said it. I would just like to reiterate some of the solutions that I provided in the previous slides. Companies should provide clear-cut instructions as well as alternatives to help in the communication and clarity. Documents should focus on the topic at hand, not subtopics and not side topics. And also, last but not least, documents should be presented in a professional manner so that the reader is not distracted by bright color schemes and blue and yellow and red fonts that take away from the overall seriousness of the document. So now that we've gotten to the end of our presentation, I hope that I've been able to provide a clear light on what it is that the changes that need to be made